Hey everyone, Matthew here with something different than usual. So I've been asked to play test this solo journaling game, and I thought this would be a good chance to kind of give a bit of a review, talk about it, go through it. As I've never really done a solo journaling game in RPGs, I thought this would be an interesting one to try. So we're going to look at I the Land, which is by Spencer, oh, I hope I don't butcher this, Goldade? So with a quick look at it, it's 2 pages long and folds up into this handy brochure. And essentially you play the story of a land, maybe sentient, maybe just giving it human traits in general. I could see this being really useful for generating sites in your RPG with a little bit of lore or what's been going on, or help you build a setting, or just a fun little creative exercise. But with that, we're kind of going to go through this. This requires a deck of cards in this kind of 2 page thing. So with that, just so people follow along, you start by sorting out the 4 different suits and taking the jokers out and drawing one of each, mixing them together, and you do this twice. One to create the land, and then one to generate what happened. So with that, and just shuffle up some cards here. All right, and we are going to go through them. So our first one here is a 6 of Hearts. And with character creation, you draw your first 2 together. So we got 6 of Hearts, 10 of Spades. And this is going to generate our initial land. So Hearts, being the first card, means we are a small piece of land. And Spades, being the second one, means that it's deadly, toxic, or treacherous. So we have a small piece of land that is incredibly dangerous. With that, we go down, continuing with those 2 cards, because it's a little more information based on the number. The first one is based off suit. The second, so we are a forest, and a characteristic of this forest is it has unique rock formations. So we got a small piece of land that is treacherous, deadly, maybe toxic, that is a forest with a lot of rock formations. So I'm pitching a very rock crag forest where these kind of toxic trees have, well, no, there's still forest sections. Let's get there. All right. So with that, we draw our third card, which is the Ace of Diamonds. And the Ace of Diamonds means it has a unique flora of growing fungi. So maybe this is a mushroom forest, now that we think about it. The growing fungi being toxic and deadly and poisonous. And the difference between value of third card and second card is 9, meaning there is unique golden goats among this terrain. And finally is our last card, which will give us the power of this domain. And the power of this domain has the ability to influence emotions and intentions of creatures within our domain. We can redraw a spade card later. So we have our character. It is a mushroom forest. It is toxic and deadly among our, lots of rock formations within, probably creating maybe almost like a natural maze. You don't want to get too close to these mushrooms growing out of the rocks or down the valley where, a lot of spores might infect you. But with that, we draw 4 more cards. And this is going to tell the story of a year. What has been going on since then? So there's a nice chart on the back that has all the numbers and all the suits. And we have one of each suit. And we are going to go through and follow kind of the instructions to build this. So we have our 10 of Hearts. So looking down, an ancient curse is the prompt. And the question we have to answer after each prompt, except the final one, which once we finish has additional questions. Did any events of the previous row lead to this? No, this is our first event. Does this compound with previous events? No, this is new. Would any flora, fauna, characteristic, power, etc. alter the outcome? And so with that, we have our glowing mushrooms is our main flora, and our golden goats. Maybe the goats are cursed. Maybe their blood is incredibly valuable for rituals and such. And how are your land inhabitants changed? I think this draws attention. Despite the dangers of this toxic mushroom forest, these golden goats are drawing others in. We're trying to make money selling them to people who do powerful magical rituals, leading to a season of harvest and people being lost and trying to trek into this forest, which resists things on its own. So, as that season passes, we move to our Six of Diamonds, which the next event is therefore the inhabitants gain temporary magical benefit. So, with people moving in to hunt these golden ghosts, it's also going to attract mages who are going to want to study this forest, figure out how to stop it from being so toxic, or how to get more of these golden goats, drawing it together. With this is going to create probably a small village, not in the land, but probably around the edge that has a much studied magical content. Maybe there's a disagreement between druids and other forms of magicians who begin to cause a bit of a ruckus among one another, kind of keeping the land separate from this, but this is something that is affecting it. And with that, it passes for a season. So now we have these goats that are sacrificial because of a curse put on them. These mages trying to capitalize on it and get close. We are going to go over to our next one, which is the Two of Clubs. Your resources, but all right. So needing to think on that. Resources, but resources. We have our goats, we have our glowing mushrooms, we have our deadly toxins. We have people adapting. We have people using these mushrooms to make themselves immune, creating this kind of friction as the druids are kind of the first to discover this, managing to start moving into this place, being mysterious, protecting this place from kind of the grind of the need of civilization. These studied mages starting to get a little more hostile, that this land is holding its resources from them. These druids are getting in the way, and that's the one we could change. We can technically redraw that, but I like where this is going. And then finally, our last event is the Four of Spades, which is giving us the prompt: your power weakens or changes. So despite all the efforts, a number of the golden goats population is getting low. The glowing mushrooms are growing more toxic, becoming more deadly and dangerous, as we are losing what makes this place unique. The druids are getting more furious, but fewer in number as active battles have literally broken out. And once we do all the prompts, we have what we do after the final row, which is ask a few more questions. What in the ways have you changed? So as the land, we have lost our kind of golden goats to this ancient curse that has begun to manifest among them, that humans have found out, or at least mage kind. I don't know what species exist in this world yet. In what ways have you stayed the same? The forest is still toxic. It is even more so. The rage, the anger, the adapting to this immunization, trying to wipe out the intruders. What do I think the future holds? I think this place will remain deadly and dangerous, though I don't know about the golden goat population. That could really change things as this kind of battle between those who want to preserve nature and those who want to exploit it come through. And with that, we could reshuffle and deal another thing to get more history, but I think we have a nice little thing here. So overall, what do I think? I think this is a great way to build sites in settings, as I'm always looking for things to kind of spark creativity in an RPG, especially designing our own stuff. I think this is a great way to kind of get a feel, because let's look at what we have here. We have a rocky terrain that grows mushrooms that give off spores that are toxic. We have an ancient curse that was on this land that's made the animals here change from just goats to like these golden things that can survive in the toxin. This has drawn in magical forces on the outside trying to exploit and protect this place. And the battle between them, we have like a year conflict already. So this site is prepped and easy to use. I might do a few more of these, either this or some other Soul Lane games. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and share this so we can get the word out when this is actually released. As long as Spencer is okay with this, I will put a link to where you can pick up this game. All in all, I think this could be a great tool, or just a fun little exercise, because sometimes creativity needs that little spark. So with that, thanks for the listen. Hope everyone's having a fantastic week, and I will see you all at the table. Bye for now.